Hello guys, welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to be doing a sketchbook tour of this book that I started in 2016. As you can probably imagine, because it's so old, there's some stuff in here I'm not particularly proud of now, but this has been requested quite a few times and I figured it was probably about time I actually showed you it. So technically it's not still quite finished because there's the last few pages here which I'm using for comic thumbnails, but they're really messy and they're not particularly interesting, so I figured for all intents and purposes this sketchbook is done. I've already moved on to another one for bigger sketches. So yeah, this one is a W.H. Smith own brand sketchbook. I'm generally very impressed with their products and it's held up pretty well with pretty much anything I've thrown at it. I haven't tried alcohol markers though, so we will see how that goes maybe on a spare page. On the front here I have some stickers from different artists. We've got Kanteya, Discord Designs, Jess Taylor, Beaniezilla, and then the local bus service, which, speaking of, a bus just went past. Sorry about any traffic noise, guys. I decided to record this during the day to get the best lighting, but the flip side is that I live on quite a busy road and there's a lot of traffic noise, so I apologise if any of that is distracting. So yeah, let's get started. So as you can see from the date here, I started this in July 2016. I haven't put an end date because it's still not technically finished, but you know, I was still very much in Voltron mode when I started this, so there's still quite a bit of Voltron in here. As you can see, there's a Lance sticker that I designed, but I didn't ever finish that range of stickers because I decided to just stick to selling original work, and there's one of my deer stickers as well. We start off with this little doodle of Shiro and Keith. I'm not a massive shipper, yeah, I'm not particularly into the whole shipping thing, but I do think they were kind of cute together, so I just doodled that and then I lost interest and I never finished it. So, then next we have, for some reason, a blank page. I filled in this sketchbook in a really weird order, so again that's another reason I'm not particularly proud of it, is because I left pages blank, I started things and then gave up, and yeah, so I feel that I have improved with the way I work through sketchbooks, so it is kind of nice to look back and think that I can do better now. So yeah, there was a pen I bought and it was weird. It went through the page whenever I drew something, it went through to the other side. I think it was the Pilot V pen. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, it was very strange. So yeah, that one's just normal ballpoint pen. These are some concepts for my character Danny from my space opera story Constellations. And here we have Danny's parents. Sorry, there's a weird angle and you can see my legs. My tripod doesn't fit properly on my desk. I tried ordering another one and it arrived broken, so I'm still in the process of trying to get an actual tripod that fits my desk. So yeah, these are Danny's parents. Again, early concepts, so they have changed design quite a bit since I drew this. So this is Kieran, who is more often called Fitz because his surname is Fitzpatrick. And this is his wife Fiora. She's half human, half alien, and here basically she just looks like a human with horns. So her design is changing a lot, but I quite like the sort of, I've got kind of the essence of the character here, I think. I've got kind of her attitude, but the actual design isn't exactly as I would like it. Then next we have another blank page. We're going to just pretend that's not there. And then I was actually, there's a bit of ink there. I don't know what I was doing, I was just trying something out. We have this weird alien lady. It didn't turn out quite how I planned it to. I did record this for a video, I think. And yeah, I still like the concept. Kind of alien lady with an astronaut's helmet with a skull inside it. I was listening to a lot of Dead Astronauts, who are a really good band. So yeah, that's kind of what influenced this. And there's a little bit of gold ink there I was playing with. Next we have another disaster with the Pilot V pen. I've no idea what happened, but I made sure to write a note for myself so that I never did that again. But yeah, it just got, sort of the lines went all spidery, it was very strange, but this is a bad sketch anyway, so we're just gonna ignore that. Next we have some lines that came through to the back, and these are some doodles of the characters from Yuri on Ice, which I was watching at the time. So I quite like these silly little doodles at the bottom. You can't really see them because of the camera angle, sorry. We have another sketch I started. That was me swatching my Winsor & Newton watercolours. I really like the Cotman range, but it is hard to tell in the palette what they are because the colours look so dark in the palette. I have to constantly refer to my swatches. We have, I don't know what that is. This is more Voltron. So we've got lots of post-it notes. Keith, Shiro and Matt, and this was kind of like my concept of their friendship at the garrison when they were younger. I liked the idea of them kind of messing around and taking selfies together, and I did plan to make this into a finished piece, but I'm not I'm not as much into Voltron as I was, so probably won't get round to it, but I did like this doodle. Next we have Cinnamon, just a really quick doodle. I think this was done with Crayola markers for the colouring. Yeah, I was kind of just playing around with some blue shading there. There's another Voltron piece. So this is Shiro and Pidge looking out the window, and I was going to do some cool spacey stuff, and yeah, I didn't get around to it. And then there's a very, very strangely shaped rover. I will use these spare pages, don't worry guys, I'll practice like some different materials on them or something. It's just right now. Some of them I left because the pencil rubbed off from the drawing on the other page, and so I thought if I drew something here it would just get messed up, so that's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. That was a sketch of some characters from a book I read, but I never got very far with that. Here we have a little concept sheet for Cinnamon. So this was my first proper try of the Winsor & Newton Cotman watercolours, and I love them so much. This was the point where I kind of fell in love with them. And yeah, this was an early version of Cinnamon, so there is some stuff. I mean, the way I draw Cinnamon has really changed, because now he's got a lot more hair. His his proportions are kind of different, and yeah, there's just quite a lot that's already changed from when I first came up with the idea of Cinnamon. I'm happy with this one. This does sort of capture Cinnamon's personality, and this is my reference for myself and for anyone else who needs it of the way that Cinnamon's hands and feet work. So he's got really big chunky hands, and he doesn't really have a wrist as such, so obviously the controls of his ship are very different to the way a human would control a ship. And yeah, his hands are quite delicate considering their size, but at the same time he does have a lot of trouble picking up small objects and things, so there have been some incidents where he has accidentally thrown things at his human friends. So, but he's sweet, so he gets away with it. But yeah, that's just a little bit of information about Cinnamon. For anyone wondering, his full name is Thrinarathi Keldanrain Eldunian, so that's why his friends call him Cinnamon. I don't know what that is. That's Ricani, and that's Jacob, but Ricani's kind of accurate. He looks a bit dopey, but you know, that's Ricani. And that's Jacob looking not very much like Jacob, so I think my way of drawing Jacob has really changed. There's Shiro. I kind of cheated on this. This isn't in the sketchbook, this is a piece of paper that I stuck into the sketchbook. I was probably covering something up, I don't know. There was probably a really bad drawing under here somewhere. Then we have Jacob, which I drew at Christmas. I was having a really bad art day, and yeah, this pretty much captures my mood at trying to do this drawing. There was Riker there as well, but sorry Riker, I messed up your face, so you just live under a post-it note forever. That was trying out some neon acrylics actually, which were quite interesting. I think one of them is glow in the dark, but obviously it's daylight so I can't show you that. And then we have Shiro again, Space Dad. This was all done in colour pencil, which I haven't used colour pencil for a piece just by themselves for quite a while, so it would be interesting to give that a go again. I think I sketched this by the looks of it with blue pencil and then just left the lines in, and I quite like that look. It's quite interesting to sometimes just leave the sketch lines in your piece. Oh, that was a really bad warm-up day. These are just awful. Yeah, that was just not good. Cinnamon. I am really happy with this one. This is Cinnamon done with, I think this is colour pencil actually, possibly, and one of the Kuretake Bimoji pens, which are like a flexible brush pen. So yeah, I'm happy with that one, as you probably know, because I made it into a print and it was the cover of my sketchbook, so yeah, I was really happy with this one. Again, it is interesting to see how much Cinnamon has changed from his first versions, because the way I draw his eyes now, this lower eye is the same size as the upper one, because I realised that I was basically drawing his upper eye where a human's would be, and then this one just kind of lower down, so anatomically his face still looked too human to me. So what I wanted to do was make the eyes the same size and put them directly on top of each other to give him more of an alien look, and I'm happy with it. I think I'm still working on him, but yeah, he was getting a little bit closer to how he looks now. This is a really bad sketch. I don't know, nah, bad art day. This was done using the Papermate Inkjoy pens. I went to the post office and they had like a big basket in the middle of the room with all this stationery stuff on clearance, and they had the Papermate Inkjoy pens, which are really nice to draw with, and they were all different colours, so I bought all of them. So yeah, I really like using them for sketches. I've got to try them again sometime. Next we have Cinnamon and his lovely long Disney princess hair. I did this with water-based markers and I was quite happy with the result, but I still need a lot of practice with water-based markers, so they're kind of not in my comfort zone. I need to kind of do some more work to improve with those. Then we have a sketch for a collab, which has been in the planning stage for quite a long time because it hasn't happened yet. And I won't say who it's with because I don't want to spoil the surprise, but yeah, we've both been very busy, so we haven't got around to doing it yet. But this was my early sketch, it's the Cheshire Cat. And then unfortunately I did my half, sent it to the other artist, and then thought, I'm not really keen on that, can I do it again? So I am reworking my half of the collab, but hopefully by the time we get around to doing it we'll both have improved a lot and the final pieces will be better than our original concepts. Next we have Baby Cinnamon, because I just thought I wonder what Cinnamon looked like as a baby, and there we go. And he thinks he was very cute as well. And you may recognise this sketch. I did use this as a basis for one of my sticker designs that says on it, "More arms, better hugs," because Cinnamon is very smug about the fact that he gives the best hugs. We have a body with no head. Well, that's not that person's head, as you can probably imagine. That would be concerning, so they're not related to each other. Next we have just some notes I made to myself about Jacob's features, and like he's got buck teeth. Some people noticed in my last drawing of him that he had some gaps in his teeth. Yes, he does, because he gets punched a lot. No, yeah, he's got a very punchable face. But he does a lot of office work now, but he used to work in the combat department, so he got into a lot of scuffles, he had a few teeth knocked out. So yeah, he's got, one of his front teeth is an implant, and then the others he didn't bother to get replaced, and so he's got some gaps. So also his left eyebrow doesn't move. So because of the nerve damage from his scarring, he has limited mobility on the left side of his face, so he doesn't have a great range of expressions. So generally, Jacob's expressions sometimes hinge on his right eyebrow because the rest of his face kind of tends to stay in this sour expression, and then everything relies on the right eyebrow to show emotion. So sometimes drawing Jacob is really tricky, but you know, it's a work in progress. I quite like, I'm just going to move the camera, sorry guys, whoops. This one here, I really like this one. That kind of turned out with quite an accurate Jacob expression on there. I'll just put that back, there we go. This is Riker, but the anatomy is really bad, so yeah. Then we have Cinnamon, who doesn't have any horns for some reason. I think I was just practicing with blue pencil. This is a reference for Jacob's cybernetic arm, because I hadn't got around to drawing a proper reference from all angles. I will be simplifying this for the comic. I don't plan on drawing this much detail on every page of the comic. But yeah, that is how Jacob's arm looks. If you wanted to see a still image of it, I think it's on my Instagram somewhere. And this here is just a swatching of the Sharpie 23 set and the Electropop set. I was going to do the Sharpie challenge, and then I messed it up, and then I never got around to retrying it. So there are still a lot of things on my to-do list from a long time ago that I haven't got around to doing yet. This was a sketch that went wrong, and then I managed to do it better this time. So this is a sketch for St. Patrick's Day, because Fitz is Irish, so yeah, he doesn't live on Earth anymore. He lives on the Arinthi planet, which is called Ethrin, but he still wanted to have a little bit of St. Patrick's Day cheer, and Cinnamon has come in to investigate by drinking Fitz's beer without permission. So yeah, Cinnamon doesn't sometimes have any concept of personal space. He tends to assume that it's okay that he gets a bit too close to people and eats their food without permission and things like that. It's just kind of the way his race is, the way that they behave towards other people. But obviously he has to remember that humans aren't always like that. So he does get a little bit up in people's personal spaces, but Fitz is used to it. He's just kidding. So yeah, then we have Shiro and Keith again, which I actually quite like this, but I never finished it. I think I would have killed my purple coloured pencil if I had finished this, so probably a good job that I didn't. But yeah, I was going to do that all in colour pencil, so I quite like it still. Next we have Riker and a very fed up Jacob. He looks so tired, he needs a nap. At the bottom we have Declan bringing Jacob his lunch. Declan likes to bring in food for everyone at work because he's a really good cook, and he worries that his colleagues aren't eating properly, so he brings in food for them. And yeah, he's very sweet, and especially he tends to chase after Jacob with food because Jacob doesn't eat. He literally he goes the whole day without eating. He just says that he needs a coffee and that will get him through the day, and it doesn't. So yeah, he's very irresponsible. Then we have Declan again, just coming out of the shower. There is no reason I drew this. There's no reason I drew this either, but there we go. This is older Shiro, a concept of older Shiro, obviously. I was just playing around with some ideas, so yeah. I'm not particularly keen on Shiro's canon haircut, so I thought I should draw it grown out a little bit. This was before the scenes we were blessed with where he had long hair, and I still wish he had long hair. I feel we were robbed. But yeah, this is just a concept of how an older Shiro might look. Eye patch just because I like eye patches, as you could probably tell. There's a blank page there just because the colour pencil rubbed off a little bit there. Also, look at the washi tape here. This is from Beaniezilla. She made some Voltron washi tape, so I thought that was cute. Here we have where I got into My Hero Academia, or Boku no Hero Academia, whatever you want to call it. And this is Todoroki, Bakugo, and Small Might. I love Small Might. I always use like reaction gifs of Small Might on Twitter. I relate to him very strongly. I'm just tired, soldiering on. Yeah, so as you can tell I messed up Bakugo's face, but I'm pretty pleased with these. I think they were done with triplus fine liners or triplus fine liners or whatever you want to call them, fine liners, and they're quite nice to draw with. So yeah, reasonably happy with how these turned out. And then, oh yeah, this is where I made my own My Hero Academia original character, and I actually have concepts for about 3, but I never drew the other 2, and I think I've pretty much forgotten what they were now. So I will try my best at some point to draw them, because I was really excited about this concept. But yeah, this guy, I never wrote his name down, but I think his name was Sebastian. I can't say for sure, because I don't know why I just left that blank. I have a lot of trouble with character names, actually. Yeah, I like coming up with character appearances and their personalities and stuff, but I'm actually not that good with names, so that kind of got left till last and then just never happened in this one. So yeah, this guy had like a transformation ability where he could turn to stone, so it was kind of like he became a gargoyle, so I kind of played on that and made him have these cute little fangs, kind of orc fangs. I keep saying kind of, I'm really sorry. This is what happens when I don't even vaguely script my video. Sometimes I script and sometimes I'm just like, no, not today. So yeah, he had a mask thing there because he was kind of, he didn't like people seeing his fangs. There's proof that sometimes if you switch your medium partway through a drawing, it changes how your drawing process is going, because I really wasn't liking how my drawings were going here when I was working with pens, so I thought I would switch to colour pencil, and I actually really like how this one turned out. And still, this was a long time ago, and I still really like this sketch. And yeah, so he can basically turn all his body to stone, but it takes a lot of his energy, or he can conserve his energy more by making one part of his body into stone. So here he's made like a big claw hand out of stone, and I quite like him. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to draw this guy again because I'm quite fond of him. Oh, here we have one of my first ever drawings of Taran. So at some point during this sketchbook, I was introduced to Dungeons & Dragons and Critical Role by my friends, and I was invited to join a campaign. As you guys know, I am going to be doing a whole video just about Taran because some people have been asking for more information about him. There's not a lot I can say, obviously, because it's the DM knows all the secrets. I don't know everything myself yet. So yeah, I can tell you what little I know. But yeah, basically, Taran is my D&D barbarian. He's very small and he's very angry, so that's why I put this caption on his shirt. So yeah, he's little angry barbarian. I love him dearly. Here he is being little again. So this is Discord Designs character Vin, who is a tiefling, and then we've got tiny little Taran, and they're waiting at a bar to be served, and probably Taran will not get served because they think he's a child. I don't know. I don't know what drinking laws they have in Exandria. Our campaign is set in Exandria, so we'll have to ask what drinking laws they have. Yes, then we have a couple of Shiros from Series 3. Like I said, I was very... Oh my goodness me, look how much pencil dust. I was like, why was my hand sticking to the paper? That is why, because I've got pencil dust everywhere. Yeah. Should have sprayed some fix stuff on this. So we've got Series 3 Shiro. I will stop touching the pages. That's what's happening. That's what's happening here. I'm touching the pages too much. Series 3 Shiro. I really liked his hair, and I was so disappointed when he cut it short again. I feel so robbed. But yeah, I had to just let out some of my disappointment by drawing the beauty that is long-haired Shiro. Yes. Oh, and we have Sven as well. I really like Sven. So that's Sven. That was, I wrote down what I drew this with, that's helpful. Tombow calligraphy pen, Zig art and graphic twin, and the graphic brush marker, and Tombow ABT. I used a lot of things in this, considering it hasn't got a lot of colours. Yeah, I really like Sven. There's some more just scribbles there, expressions and stuff. That's a concept that I never did anything with, but it was going to be like Danny from Constellations with like a space helmet on looking out at the stars. Here, this was where me and Lissy Rain, go and check her out, she's awesome. Me and Lissy Rain went to the beach and we did some fossil hunting, and I found, well, Lissy found a crab claw. I didn't find much of anything, I was just kind of wandering. And yeah, Lissy found a lot of cool things, and I drew the crab claw and some seaweed and some shells, and I drew the cliffs. This was done with Tombow brush markers. Then we've got Sarah. I kind of messed up her face, but I kind of like her body, because I mean, you guys probably know I am very bad at drawing women because I spent way too long just drawing men, and so I do struggle a lot. So in my really messy sketchbook I've got now, I am practicing drawing women a lot. And it's still a long progress, but hopefully I will get there. But yeah, this was a practice piece of just trying to draw Sarah, so I'm fairly happy with how her body turned out, but not necessarily her face. Here I think we're starting to move on to the point where I don't want to fling this sketchbook and myself into the sun, because there is some stuff here I'm actually starting to like. So I think this is like 2017-ish, yeah, perhaps. So yeah, this is Danny again, more concepts of Danny, because his design is still totally up in the air. I don't know what I'm doing with it, but I'm getting a little bit closer. So I like the idea that he has a combination of his parents' markings in a way. You wouldn't call freckles markings, but you know. So basically Fitz has freckles and Fiora has stripes. So I like the idea that Danny's ended up with both. And I can't decide if he likes that or not, but yeah, he's got an interesting combination of patterns going on there. And that's just like a little pose sketch as well. More Sven. I really like this page. If you've got a copy of one of my sketchbooks, you will have spotted this in here. But yeah, this was just some different expressions, and he looks kind of young. It looks kind of old-fashioned anime style, I think, but I am happy with this page. I really hope Sven makes a comeback. I really like him. Here we have Jacob, and sometimes a man's just got to have a nap, whether he wants to or not. And yeah, Jacob's just having some work done on his cybernetics here. So Jacob's got a lot of cybernetics in his body. You can't see them on the surface, but there's a lot going on in here, so he has to have regular like maintenance and checkups and everything. So this is while there's been some work done on his arm, and he's just decided to go to sleep. He's got his coffee there, but it didn't do very much in keeping him awake, as you guys can tell. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. That was done with coloured pencil. Next we have a quick drawing of Motoko, because I was reading Ghost in the Shell at the time, so we have a quick Motoko done in brush pen. And then we have an alien. So this is a concept for one of the characters in Constellations, and this was done in colour pencil again. And I kind of messed up that one, but this one is a little closer to what I'm picturing, so he's going to be like a big toothy alien, and yeah, he's going to be kind of creepy, because I like that, but yeah, again, the design is really up in the air. I'm still playing around with that. Here we have some more alien concepts. I really like this guy. I think he's really sweet. He looks like a nervous wreck. I like his pose with the jumper. I was thinking about making him less humanoid, but he might be part human, so I haven't decided yet. It looks like these sketches are connected, but they are in fact not. There are not several spaceships coming down to kill him from space. It just kind of looks that way. But yeah, I'm pretty fond of him. Next we have some disembodied legs, because you know, just standard. There's some poses here for my witch commission. I was just sketching out some details as well there. We have, oh, there's the guy from the page before meeting Cinnamon, to show kind of the size difference between them, because Cinnamon is like 10 feet tall, so every time I draw him I'm trying to figure out how exactly I should draw him in comparison to the other characters. It's always tricky. But then I couldn't make this sketch kind of match up. I drew them too close together for their hands to be meeting in a handshake, and I was like, oh, whatever. Because, you know, that's frequently how I react when a sketch goes wrong. Next we have another witch. Just a coloured pencil sketch. We've got Cinnamon again. This was a really bad art day. I don't know what happened to these. This is a really old character of mine that I need to redesign. Oh, and we have some more Taran here. So when we first started with the D&D campaign, I was doodling during the game. Now I'm kind of focused too much to doodle because we've had a lot of combat lately, and Taran's in his element in combat, so I'm really focused. And I have to be focused during roleplay scenes as well because Taran doesn't know how to behave in any situation that isn't combat. So yeah, I haven't been really sketching during the games lately, but these were during our first game. And basically our characters all woke up on a slave ship, and Taran was chained up into like a big ball of chains because he wouldn't behave himself, and he was so unimpressed. So that's very unimpressed Taran there. That's also very unimpressed Taran. It was this point I kind of looked at the way I was drawing faces and started to consider that maybe I should change them a bit, because I kept drawing the same face from the same angle. I didn't like how they were looking, so across the next few pages you can see me trying to start varying it a little bit. This was a bit where Taran swung his warhammer and I rolled really badly and it got stuck in the wall, and then I rolled really badly again and it got stuck in the floor. It didn't go very well in the first game. I've kind of got a reputation now for rolling hideously pretty much all the time. Every now and then I have a fluke where he kills someone in one shot. That's very, very rare. There's another angry Taran down there. Oh, there's Taran in the ship again. And there's another Taran. I love him. I love him so much. This is a concept for another alien race in Constellations, which is called the Kurai, which is the one that Fiora is partly from. Still not sure about this one. Still looks too humanoid to me. Again, I would like to vary them so they don't just look like humans with pointed ears and horns and whatever. This is just a little concept of their architecture as well. So I want their architecture to be kind of very loose and free-flowing and look kind of organic in a way, so I have a more firm idea of their architecture than what the people actually look like at the moment, but you know, I'll figure it out. So the Kurai don't like the Arinthi, so there will be conflict at some point in the story if Cinnamon ever encounters any of the Kurai. Here we have yet more Taran. Just under there is a pencil sketch of Saphira Lu's character Zilla, who is the druid in our campaign. Then we have Taran again. This one I was trying to make my traditional lines as neat as my digital lines, because I am very fussy about my digital lines. I think I did better. I think I can tell the difference, but it did take quite a lot longer, and yeah, I like it, but it's kind of the compromise of how long it takes. This is Taran being very irresponsible and eating a pear off of a knife that he probably killed someone with, because, you know, barbarians don't need cutlery, it's fine. And I like him. He's also missing a lot of teeth, because he gets punched a lot. He has a very punchable face, and he fights everyone, so he has no excuse, he's just angry. I think that was going to be Taran, and then I was like, no. Taran, oh my goodness, so this book is like 50% Taran at this point. There's another Taran. I like this one. This was coloured pencil with a bit of copper ink, and I was just playing with ideas because I like the concept of him having quite a lot of piercings and fancy stuff from before he was captured, because at the moment he looks an absolute mess because he was a slave. So he does have an excuse for looking that bad and being that smelly. Because it's canon that he smells really bad, kind of like Caleb in Critical Role. And yeah, he before that, I like to think he took more pride in his appearance. So this is kind of a combination, because obviously he's got the scarring and everything that came from his time in slavery, but he's got his nice jewellery, so yeah, I just wanted to give him something nice because he deserved it. That was a really, really late night sketch of Riker and Jacob, which looks a little bit weird. This is concepts for my scrawler box piece. So, sorry, I don't know if my camera's focusing very well on those because they're so faint, but that was some original concepts for my picture of Ikure that I did for the scrawler box piece. Here we have, these are both practice pieces with what are they? Pentel colour brush pens. I bought 3 colours because I wanted one for a while, but they were quite expensive and I wasn't sure if I would like it, but then I found them half price. So then I bought some different colours. So in the end I ended up spending more than if I'd bought one. But you know when you see something half price and you're like, well, buy several, it's fine. So this is Taran again. This is Sophia Alu's character Zilla. Taran and Zilla are not on the best of terms right now, but then again, Taran and anyone is not on the best of terms right now in the campaign because he's kind of just making a mess of everything. So Taran scared away a mouse, and Zilla is a druid and she loves animals, and she resents the fact that Taran frightens away anything that comes in their path. And yeah, he tried to make it up to her, he tried to like hold her arm reassuringly, and he probably just made things worse, I think. So this is Taran being bored. This was supposed to be like him slouching down on a chair next to the table while she's working, but honestly this is their height difference because Zilla is like 6'3", Taran is 5'3". So, and with the antlers as well, she is a lot taller than Taran, and I love the height difference. It's hilarious. Taran is so much smaller than everyone else in the campaign and I love it. This is Cinnamon again. This book is mostly Cinnamon and Taran, basically. And originally this was going to be another Arinthi character, but it looked too much like Cinnamon, so I just made it into Cinnamon, and to complete it I added a cinnamon bun. But yeah, I've still got to add a lot of variation to the way I draw the Arinthi because I'm very conscious of the fact that they all look very alike, and I've got to work on varying their features. Just because my characters aren't humanoid, it's not really an excuse for me to not give them any variation. So that is something that I'm definitely working on. Here we have some more brush pen doodles. They're not that great. They look kind of weird, I don't know what happened, but as Jacob I messed up his face. This is a concept for Steve, who is a character in Wired. Steve is actually an AI, so they are a holographic presence. They don't have a physical form, they just appear as a hologram, and they generally just cause a lot of problems for everyone. So yeah, I'm really excited to work more on Steve's development as a character, and I haven't really drawn them either since I finalised their design. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. And then we get to the thumbnail sketches for Wired, which is obviously my comic version of my novel. And oh, there's one thing here. This is, oh, it's not actually attached, so I don't know if it counts, but this is the original sketch for my piece that I did for the Stationery Island review. And as you can see, it looks very different to the final piece because I did struggle with the light box to get the image to show through the paper to do the final lines and make it look similar. But yeah, you can never expect your final image to look exactly like your sketch. So, you know, it's just something you've got to live with, but I do want to give that another go and try and get that more similar to the original. I think that's it. Yeah, we've just got some ink blobs there to finish off with. So yeah, that is my 2016 to 2018 sketchbook. I really hope you liked it. I do feel like I'm better at filling sketchbooks now. I fill them faster and I'm not so concerned about making everything look perfect. I don't know if anyone else can see it, but I do see progression from what's in this sketchbook to what's in my current ones. So yeah, I am doing a lot more study work now and I feel that it is making a difference. So back then I was very bad at filling in sketchbooks. This one is testament to that. This took so long, as you can tell. 2 years to finish a sketchbook is pretty ridiculous, and I feel very motivated from watching the other artists that I see on YouTube filling their sketchbooks with such amazing stuff and not being afraid to just fill the page with anything. And I've got to get over that fear of the blank page, and I feel I'm getting there, slowly. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed looking at this sketchbook. Sorry it was such a long wait to get around to doing it, and I hope to see you next time, hopefully doing another sketchbook tour very soon when I finish more. So thank you for watching, as always. I really appreciate your support and I hope to see you next time. Bye!